All right, let's talk about what you've actually got on the end of that leash. People call them the Apollo of dogs, right? And yeah, they command attention. I mean, look at them. They are massive. But here's the secret. Underneath all that muscle and height, they are surprisingly tender, like seriously sensitive. Yeah, way back in the day, they were bred to be ferocious boar hunters, but they transitioned into devoted estate guardians. They were made to work with us to protect the home. And that lineage of loyalty, that is still the defining feature of the breed today. But here's the catch. And if you're a first-time giant breed owner, this is gonna feel like a paradox. Your Dane's body is gonna skyrocket. I'm talking about growing exponentially. But their brain, it takes a while to catch up. So you end up with this massive, powerful animal who still has the mind of a clumsy, goofy puppy. They have zero clue how strong they are. Now, housebreaking. This is usually the biggest hurdle in puppy rearing. It's the beast. Because it's not a static command like sit or stay. You can't just say, don't pee, and expect them to get it. It's an intricate ordeal. It's biological timing, it's trying to communicate with a different species, and it requires you, the human, to be absolutely consistent. Here's why it's tough. There's a conflict between what you want, a clean house, and your Dane's developing physiology. A puppy is wired to go the second the urge hits. They don't know what modern plumbing is. They definitely don't know how much your hardwood floors cost. And giant breeds have a unique hurdle here. Even though they're growing fast, their bladder control and sphincter muscles, they mature slower than the little dogs. So even if they look like a full-grown dog physically, they cannot hold it for long. They just can't. Plus, they get used to textures really fast. If you let them accidentally soil the rug a few times, they're gonna think, oh, soft fabric? That's the bathroom. Breaking that habit is tough. Honestly, victory or defeat here depends entirely on you. Your commitment. It's exhausting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's mental and physical work. You need 100% supervision. That means you have eyes on your giant puppy constantly. If you can't watch them, they need to be in a properly sized crate or tethered to you. We call that umbilical training. The schedule is grueling. You gotta go out after everything. Eating? Outside. Sleeping? Outside. Playing? Outside. And yeah, it interrupts your schedule. You're gonna be sleep deprived, making trips in the middle of the night to handle those massive bladder needs. And when they mess up, because they will, you have to relentlessly sanitize it. Use the high-quality enzymatic stuff. You have to completely erase the odor, or they're just gonna go back to the same spot and reoffend. So yeah, house training is difficult. It's a clash of instincts. It's an endurance test. It's a complex dialogue between human and beast. But look, if you acknowledge the hurdles and the sheer volume of mess a giant breed can create, you can tackle this. Do it with empathy. Be confident. Your affectionate Great Dane will master it, I promise. They just need your steady, kind guidance. Okay, step 1, the foundational move. You need a single permanent restroom zone. And you gotta start this the moment you bring your Great Dane home. Before you even bring them inside the house for the first time, lead them immediately to this spot, ideally somewhere in your yard. Having a dedicated bathroom spot is the cornerstone of success here. Danes are creatures of habit. It eliminates the guesswork for them, and let's be real, it concentrates the waste, which with this breed is substantial. You don't want that all over your yard. It'll save your lawn from nitrogen burn and ruin. Pick a quiet corner of grass, but remember, factor in how big this dog is gonna get. Accessibility and convenience, that's your mantra. Pick a spot you can get to rapidly from the back door. When a Dane puppy has to go, it is urgent. You do not want to be running a marathon across the yard. Make sure you can get to it in snow, rain, whatever the season throws at you.
The surface matters too. Natural grass is usually the gold standard. It's soft under those heavy paws. It holds scents well, which triggers that "hey, I pee here" instinct. Wood chips or mulch can work too. Pea gravel is an option, great for sanitation because it drains well and washes down easy. Big plus for giant breed cleanup. But check that your Dane is okay standing on it. Sometimes shifting stones can be uncomfortable for their weight. If you're in the city, artificial turf is a lifesaver. High-grade synthetic grass drains well and is easy to disinfect.
Think about shelter and privacy too. Giant breed puppies can be weirdly shy. A spot protected from wind or harsh sun helps. And minimize the visual distractions. You want them thinking about business, not playing. Don't put it next to a busy street, or the fence where the neighbor's dog is barking, or right next to your patio where you hang out. For a sensitive Great Dane, that external chaos just causes anxiety. They get distracted, a fail to finish, and then boom, accident on the kitchen floor the second you get inside. Puppies are like human infants. They are born with zero bathroom manners. As the leader, you teach them. This specific area is for relief. The house is a sanctuary. Do it immediately. They're new here, so they'll just accept it as the natural order of their new life. Stick to the plan. Be consistent. Do not deviate from the chosen ground. You got this.
Okay, look, how you handle the accidents, and yeah, there will be accidents, is just as big of a deal as how you reward the good stuff. Especially with a Great Dane. These guys are giant marshmallows. They are emotionally soft. If you mess this up, you can either build their trust or scare them so bad it sets you back weeks. So picture this. You catch your Dane mid-squat on the carpet. What do? You need to stop them instantly. Make a sharp noise. Clap your hands loud. Give a quick vocal The goal here isn't to terrify the poor thing. It's just to startle them enough to clamp the plumbing shut. Stop the flow. Then immediately shuffle them outside to their spot. If they finish up out there, you throw a party. Praise them like they just won the lottery. Now listen to me closely, because this is the most important part. Your Great Dane is not peeing on your rug to spite you. They aren't being a jerk. They aren't seeking revenge because you bought the cheap kibble. They're babies. Their muscles are still figuring things out. Or maybe, just maybe, you missed the cue to let them out. Do not yell. Do not punish them. And for the love of everything holy, do not rub the puppy's nose in the mess. That is old school garbage, okay? It doesn't work. All that archaic harshness does is teach a sensitive Dane that you are scary. And you know what happens then? They become secretive. They'll start sneaking off behind the sofa or into the guest room to do their business, just to avoid your wrath. And trust me, finding hidden surprises is infinitely harder to fix. Think of every puddle or pile as data. Seriously, be a detective. Why did it happen? Did you wait too long? Did you miss a sniff or a circle? Was it excitement peeing? To stop it from happening again, tighten up your schedule. Watch your dog like a hawk. Interrupt the mistake calmly, clean it deep so the smell is gone, and fix your timing. That is how you keep your house clean and your bond intact.
To actually get inside your dog's head, you gotta look at the history written in their DNA. The Great Dane, these guys were refined in Germany as boarhounds. We're talking about hunting wild game. But then, they transitioned into being these prestigious guardians of castles and estates. They were designed for two specific things: massive power and gentle, rock-solid loyalty. This isn't just history trivia for a pub quiz. It tells you who your dog is right now. This is why we call them Velcro dogs. Have you noticed? They constantly want to touch you.
they lean that massive weight right against your leg. Sure, they love the luxury of your couch, but that soul of a devoted guardian is still in there. Recognizing that need for connection, that is the secret sauce to fixing behavior issues. The best way to train a Dane, whether it's potty training or basic manners, is to use that desire for companionship. Don't try to dominate them. You want to guide that massive size and that desire to please into polite behavior.
And about anxiety, because they love you so much, they can panic when you leave. You have to teach them that solitude isn't a punishment. Start small, reward calmness, and give them the right exercise. Watch those growing joints. No marathons or running up and down stairs all day while they're young. Let them meet new people and dogs in a positive way, and keep their brain busy. Use puzzle toys, maybe some scent work. Let them work with you without wrecking their bodies. If you want to survive potty training a fast-growing Dane, you need a schedule, a rigorous, unwavering timetable. It is the absolute bedrock of success. Dogs rely on structure. They love knowing what happens next. A solid routine cuts down accidents drastically because your puppy isn't guessing. Your puppy's life needs a rhythm. Sleep, play, learn, eat, bathroom, repeat. This fixes their metabolism. And because Danes grow so fast, their metabolism is running hot. What goes in must come out, and usually on a reliable schedule. This brings me to food. Strict meal times are non-negotiable. If you feed your puppy at the exact same times every day, their digestive system gets predictable. You'll know exactly when the output is coming. Feed them 2 or 3 times a day, on the dot. Do not just leave a bowl of food out all day. That free feeding stuff, it ruins your ability to guess when they need to go. Control the input, and you control the output. Your daily plan has to hinge on these 5 critical, do not miss potty breaks. Immediately upon waking. This is number 1, the most predictable time a puppy needs to go. The second your Great Dane opens their eyes, morning, noon, after a nap, that bladder control is 0. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Get them outside before they fully wake up and make a mistake. Shortly after every meal, eating wakes up the gut. It's called the gastrocolic reflex. Usually 10 to 30 minutes after that bowl is empty, the urge hits. Watch them. If they start sniffing or circling, go. After every play or training session, running around increases bladder pressure. It just does. So when playtime winds down, immediately head outside. Puppies are like toddlers. They forget they have to pee because they're having fun, and then boom, accident the second the game stops. Before you crate them or leave the house, give them a chance to empty the tank. It sets them up for success so they aren't sitting there stressing over a full bladder. Last call. Make this the final thing you do. A boring, calm trip outside. Make sure they're empty so you can actually get some sleep. Aside from these, grab a notebook. Write it down. When did they eat, drink, pee, poop? It sounds tedious, but this data reveals your dog's unique rhythm. Stick that schedule on the fridge. Consistency is everything. Here's the kicker. The whole family has to be on board. If you are following the schedule, but your partner or your kids are letting the dog wander off unsupervised, it's going to unravel everything. Danes are smart, but they're sensitive. If they get mixed signals, they just get confused. Stick to the plan, everybody. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the giant puppy in the apartment. Indoor potty pads, wee-wee pads, whatever you want to call them. Look, I get it. They seem convenient. Maybe you live on the 4th floor, or maybe it's raining cats and dogs outside. But for a Great Dane, honestly, it's usually a massive mistake. Huge.
Think about it. You're trying to house train a dog that's gonna grow faster than a weed. Putting a pad down basically tells your pup, hey, peeing inside? Totally cool. Go for it. And that right there blurs the lines. You want them to go outside, right? So why start by telling them the living room floor is a valid option? And here's the other thing. To a Dane puppy, that pad isn't a bathroom. It's a toy. A crinkly, shreddable chew toy. Next thing you know, you've got plastic bits everywhere. Or worse, in their stomach. And trust me, you do not want to deal with an intestinal blockage. That is scary stuff. Then there's the whole surface preference nightmare. Dogs are weird about textures. If your Dane gets used to that soft, squishy feeling under their paws when they go, good luck getting them to use the cold, wet grass later. Seriously, try convincing a 100-pound dog to step onto a wet lawn when they've decided they prefer your rugs. Not gonna happen. Now look, I'm not gonna be totally unreasonable. There are rare times you might need them. Maybe you're in a high-rise with 0 yard access. Maybe you've got a bad knee and can't do the stairs fast enough. Or maybe your vet said no public grass because of parvo risks. In those specific cases, okay, fine, use the pads. But think of it as a temporary Band-Aid, not the permanent fix. But for 99% of you, skip the pads. Your dog is smart. They're big. Focus on the outdoors from day one. Pick one spot in the yard, be consistent, and keep the confusion to a minimum.
Okay, real talk time. Sometimes pee happens, and it's not because your dog is being a jerk. You gotta know the difference between a potty training failure and an involuntary leak. Because if you handle this wrong, oh boy, you're gonna make it so much worse. Submissive urination and excitement urination? Those are not your dog disobeying you. Your Great Dane isn't thinking, I'm gonna soil the rug just to annoy you. Nope, it's physiological. Their brain gets overloaded with emotion, and the bladder just quits. Submissive urination is actually a peace offering. It's your dog saying, hey, you're the boss. I'm small. Well, metaphorically. Please, don't hurt me. It's an instinct from puppyhood. If you scold them for this, you're just proving them right. They get more scared, they try harder to appease you, and, well, they pee more. It's a vicious cycle. Then there's the happy pees, excitement urination. This is when your puppy sees you and literally explodes with joy. Their nervous system goes haywire, and they physically cannot hold it. It just happens. So what's the golden rule here? Do not punish, ever. Seriously, yelling just deepens the anxiety. You want to prevent it? Keep your greetings boring, low energy, calm. And since Danes are huge, don't loom over them like a skyscraper. Get down on their level. Scratch them under the chin, not over the head. Better yet, say hello outside. Let the happy pee land on the grass. Long term, this is about building confidence. If a leak happens, clean it up quietly. Don't make a scene. And please, use an enzymatic cleaner. You gotta break down those proteins so the spot doesn't smell like a bathroom to them later. Most Danes grow out of this. They get bigger, their muscles get stronger, they chill out. Your job is just to guide them through it with some patience. If they're still doing it as adults, then yeah, talk to a vet or a behaviorist. But for now, deep breaths. People always ask me, when do I start? The answer? The second that puppy walks through your front door. Ideally, we're talking about the 8 to 12 week window. This is the magic hour. Their little brains are like sponges right now. They soak up everything. Routines, where to go, where not to go. You want those habits to stick? You start now. You're setting the ground rules for life. I know, training a giant breed is a lot. It tests your patience.
But listen to me. Delaying this is a disaster waiting to happen. If you wait, you're letting them build bad habits that are going to be a nightmare to break later. Think about the math. A 20-pound puppy having an accident on the carpet? Annoying, but manageable. A 120-pound untrained adolescent doing the same thing? That's not an accident. That is a crisis. That is a flood. But, and this is a big but, don't try to get all formal before they're ready. The sweet spot starts around 8 weeks. Before that, they're just babies. They literally don't have the bladder muscles or the brain power to hold it. It's not their fault. They're just not built for it yet. So aim for that 8-week mark and hit the ground running. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, or the Great Dane in the room. Why are we using this crate? I know. Some people look at a crate and see a cage, but you gotta look at it through your dog's eyes. See, the AKC, and these guys know their stuff, they rank the crate super high as a potty training tool. Why? Because dogs are surprisingly clean animals. Really, they hate sleeping in their own filth. It's gross to them. Even the Humane Society backs this up. They'll tell you straight, crate training is a heavy hitter for house training. But, and this is a big but, it's not magic. You can't just shove them in there and hope for the best. And for some dogs, yeah, it might not work. But for most, it's gold. It's all about tapping into that ancestral den instinct. Your Dane wants a cozy, safe spot to crash. If you treat the crate like their bedroom, they're going to try their absolute hardest to hold that bladder until you let them out. Now, listen close, because this is where Dane owners mess up. Size matters. You're going to buy a crate that fits a full-grown Dane. But your puppy? They're tiny right now. If you give them the whole mansion, they're going to sleep in one corner and use the other corner as a bathroom. You defeat the whole purpose. You have to use a divider. Block it off. Give them just enough room to stand up, spin around, and plop down. That's it. The crate is your best friend. It keeps them safe when you're sleeping or when you leave the house, or honestly, anytime you can't watch them like a hawk. It saves your rugs, sure, but it actually strengthens their bladder muscles because they're holding it. It's the fast track to a house-trained dog. But let's be real for a second. Don't be a jerk with the crate. It's a safe haven. It's a den. It is not a prison cell. If you leave a puppy in there for 8-9 hours, that's cruel. And guess what? They're going to have an accident because they physically can't hold it. And then you've just taught them it's okay to sleep in their own pee. Game over. If you work a 9 to 5, you gotta make a plan. Hire a walker. Use daycare. Do not lock your dog in a box all day. Deal? Okay, let's get into the messy stuff. We see the same mistakes over and over again with Great Dane owners. And look, these guys are sensitive. They're emotional giants. You screw up these 10 things, and you're gonna have a smelly house and a sad dog. Reacting with punishment. Number 1, the biggest no-no. Do not get angry. I mean it. If you yell or, God forbid, hit your dog, or rub their nose in it, you are damaging your dog. Danes are softies. If you scare them, they aren't gonna learn, oh, I shouldn't pee on the carpet. They're gonna learn, oh no, my human is scary when I pee. So next time, they'll just hide behind the sofa to do it so you don't see. Danes need predictability. If you feed them at 8 a.m. one day and noon the next, you're asking for trouble. Their bodies are clocks. If the input is random, the output is going to be random, and you won't know when to take them out. Get a routine. Stick to it. I see this all the time. You bring the puppy home and let them run wild. Nightmare. A Dane puppy covers so much ground so fast. If you let them roam unsupervised,
They're gonna find a quiet corner in the guest room and make a mistake. And once they do it once, they'll do it again. Earn the freedom. Don't just give it away. Okay, you wiped up the puddle. Looks clean, right? Wrong. If you didn't use an enzymatic cleaner, you failed. Sorry, but it's true. There are biomarkers in that pee that your nose can't smell. But your dog's nose? It's basically a neon sign flashing bathroom here. You gotta nuke that scent. Throw the pads away. Seriously. When you use pee pads, you're teaching your dog that it's okay to pee on soft things inside the house. You know what feels like a pee pad? Your expensive Persian rug. Plus, let's be honest, a full-grown Great Dane peeing on a pad? You're gonna need a mop anyway. Just go outside. You can't just mumble, "good boy," and pat their head. Boring. These guys need motivation. If the reward for holding their massive bladder is a dry piece of kibble and a pat, meh, why bother? You've got to throw a party. Make it worth their while. You open the back door, the puppy runs out, you start throwing the ball, and oops, they forgot to pee. Then you go inside and boom, accident on the floor. Business first, play second. Go out, stand still, wait for the deed, then we play.
Your puppy is talking to you. You just aren't listening. Are they sniffing the ground like they're hunting for truffles? Are they spinning in circles? Acting weird and restless? That's the "I gotta go" dance. If you ignore that, the mess is on you, my friend. If you use the crate for timeouts when you're mad, or if you leave them in there so long they have to pee, you're breaking the system. The crate stops being a safe den and starts being a toilet. Hard habit to break. Don't do it. Last one. Your dog was doing great, and suddenly, an accident. It happens. It's called regression. It's normal. Don't freak out. Don't assume your dog is being a stubborn jerk. They're just growing. Take a breath, go back to basics, and start again. All right, here's the fun part. How do we actually fix this? It's simple, but you gotta be strict. It's all about the reward, the power of the reward. When your Dane gets it right, you need to lose your mind with happiness. I'm talking high-pitched, crazy person voice. Yes, good potty. And the treat? It can't be their boring breakfast kibble. We're talking freeze-dried liver, cheese, the good stuff. You're building a bridge in their brain. When I pee on the grass, I get the cheese. Suddenly, peeing outside isn't a chore. It's a way to get paid. But here's the kicker. Timing is everything. You have a 2-second window, maybe less. If they pee and you wait until you walk all the way back to the kitchen to give them the treat, you missed it. Now they think they're getting a treat for walking into the kitchen or for sitting. They've already forgotten the pee. You have to shove that treat in their mouth the second they finish. And again, keep those treats high value. A piece of dry dog food just isn't going to compete with a squirrel or a leaf blowing in the wind. You need something that makes them want to hold it just so they can get that reward. So picture this. You think you've won. No accidents for a week. You're celebrating. And then, bam, puddle in the living room. We call this the potty training regression period. It's annoying. It's frustrating. But hear me out. It is totally normal. They aren't doing it to spite you. It's usually a sign that something else is going on. Common causes of regression in Danes. With Danes, it's usually one of a few things. The adolescent phase, the teenage years, usually between 6 and 12 months. Hormones go crazy and suddenly they forget the rules. Environmental stress. Did you move, change jobs, get a new boyfriend? Even a tiny change can throw them off. Too much freedom.
This is the big one. You trusted them too soon. You gave them too much freedom before they were actually ready. One mistake turns into a habit real quick. Lingering scents. If you didn't clean the last mess right, they can still smell it. And if they smell it, they're going to use it again.
Could be a UTI. Always check with the vet first. Don't yell at a dog who's sick. First thing you do when regression hits, go to the vet, seriously. Rule out the medical stuff. UTIs are super common. It hurts, and they get this frantic need to go right now. Could be kidneys, diabetes, bladder stones. Just get it checked. Combating inconsistency. Or maybe it's you. Sorry, but training inconsistency is a huge culprit. We get lazy. You have a good week, you relax, you stop giving treats for going outside, you wait too long between breaks. You start expecting too much too fast, and then everything falls apart. Take a breath. Go back to square one. Watch him like a hawk. Leash on, even inside if you have to. Say the word. Go potty every time. Throw a party when they go outside. The good treats. Good boy, good girl. No punishment. If they mess up inside, do not punish them. Just clean it up. Scrub that spot with an enzyme cleaner. Stick to the schedule. It feels like a defeat, I know, but it's temporary. A few days, maybe a couple weeks. Be patient. Be consistent. Remind that smart dog what they're supposed to do. They'll get it back. Okay, last thing, and this is where everyone messes up. Cleaning. You have to clean the accidents right. When a Dane pees, they leave a scent marker. It's biology. They want to refresh that mark. Here's the mistake. You grab the kitchen cleaner, or bleach, or ammonia. Stop! Ammonia smells like urine to a dog. You are literally scrubbing the floor with something that says, "Hey, pee here." You need an enzymatic cleaner. It's got bioenzymes that actually eat the proteins in the crystals. It destroys the smell at a molecular level. Because here's the deal. Your Dane's nose, it's tens of thousands of times better than yours. Just because you can't smell the pee doesn't mean it's gone. They smell it, and if they smell it, they think it's a bathroom. Get the right cleaner. Don't sabotage yourself. All right, let's talk numbers for a second. There's this rule of thumb everybody loves, the month-to-hour ratio. Even the American Kennel Club swears by it. The math is pretty simple. 2-month-old puppy, they can hold it for about 2 hours. 4 months, 4 hours.
You get the idea. But hang on. Before you set your watch by that, remember that once they hit 9 months, that math kind of falls apart. And honestly, it's just a rough guess. It's not written in stone. Here's the tricky part with Great Danes. These guys grow fast, like weed in the garden fast. But their insides, their bladders, they don't always keep up with those giant legs. So even if your pup looks big enough to hold it, their internal plumbing might still be in baby mode.
When in doubt, take them out. Proactive is always better than cleaning up a puddle. Now, age is the big one, sure, but other stuff matters too. Sleep state. The good news, when they're crashed out asleep, everything slows down. Urine production drops. They can usually hold it way longer at night. Activity level. The bad news, you know those zoomies, where they run around like maniacs? Yeah, that wakes up the bladder too, big time. After a play session, you gotta run outside, immediately. Feeding schedule. Puppies have this thing called the gastrocolic reflex. Basically, food goes in, poop wants to come out. Keep mealtime steady, and the bathroom schedule will steady out too. Fluid management. You can cheat a little here. Pick up the water bowl about an hour before bed. Helps keep the crate dry till morning. Health status. Watch out for sudden changes. If your house-trained dog suddenly starts leaking, don't just get mad. Get to the vet. Could be a UTI or something medical.
Bottom line, don't treat that month-to-hour rule like the law. It's a baseline. Your goal isn't to see how long they can cross their legs. It's to get them outside before it's an emergency. Pushing them to hold it? Not worth it. It's bad for their health and just asking for an accident.
Okay, stop guessing. Is he sniffing because he needs to pee, or is he just sniffing? Let's make this easy. Bell training. It's a game changer. Instead of you trying to read their mind, they just tell you, "Hey, I gotta go." Ding. You need a few things. Some bells, sleigh bells on the doorknob work great, or those little desk bells for the floor. Just make sure they aren't so loud they terrify the poor dog. You'll need some high-value treats and a whole lot of patience. Here's the game plan. Every single time you walk out that door for a potty break, ring the bell. You do it. Just let them hear it. Get them to touch it, nose it, paw it, whatever. They touch it, boom, treat. Now, the reward isn't food. It's the door opening. They ring, door opens. That's the deal. Hang the bells right by the door you use. Make sure your Dane can actually reach them without doing gymnastics. Keep in mind they get taller every week, so adjust as needed. Now, consistency is everything. Every time you go out, ring it. Say your word. Potty, outside, whatever you use. Ring, open, go. You've got to get everyone in the house on board. If your partner ignores the bell, the dog's gonna get confused. And you have to be fast. Bell rings, you jump, especially in the beginning. One big warning though, don't let them play you. If they ring the bell, you go out for business. If they just start chasing butterflies, back inside. Boring time. They need to know the bell is for the bathroom, not for recess. Listen, managing nights with a Great Dane puppy, it's an adventure. It demands a serious game plan because you're dealing with massive physical growth and a bladder the size of a thimble. You gotta have a steady evening ritual. It's vital for clearing their system and just bringing the energy down. Now, here's a big one. To stop a full bladder from ruining your sleep and your carpets, you have got to cut off the water and food. Seriously. About 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours before bedtime, kitchen is closed. This one simple change stops their system from overloading while you sleep. Cuts down accidents big time. Then, that last hour before lights out, no wrestling matches. Switch from crazy play to chill mode. It lowers that giant puppy's heart rate and gets them ready to actually crash out. Now, crate training. You can't skip it. It is absolutely indispensable if you want to sleep through the night eventually. At first, put that crate in your bedroom so you can hear if they start panicking. But here's the tricky part with Danes: size. You have to buy a crate big enough for a small horse, because that's what they'll become. But you must use a divider panel right now. If that crate is too big, the puppy's gonna sleep in one corner and use the other corner as a bathroom. The space needs to be just big enough to stand up, turn around, and flop down. That's it. And you have to realize, a puppy between 8 and 12 weeks old, they physically cannot hold it for 8 hours. They just can't. So yeah, midnight outings are gonna happen. Don't wait for them to start crying either. Be proactive. If you go to bed at 11, set an alarm for 2:30 or 3 in the morning. Wake them up, take them out. And keep these trips strictly business. I'm talking no lights, no good boy, no playing. Boring. This avoids accidents and shows them you run the schedule. That's how you get housebreaking to stick. Okay, sometimes life happens. Maybe there's a blizzard or you live on the 10th floor. If your Great Dane has to go inside, standard stuff isn't going to cut it. You have to calculate for giant variables. Because Danes grow like weeds and produce, well, let's just say adult human levels of waste, you need a setup designed for flood control.
Regular puppy pads? Useless. You might as well use a tissue. You need XXL industrial-sized pads. Huge surface area to catch the misses and absorb a ton of liquid fast so there aren't stepping in it. And durability matters. A Dane puppy's paws are heavy, they're clumsy. Flimsy pads will just rip under their fate or turn into shredded confetti, which is a choking hazard, by the way. And the smell? It's not a luxury to control it. It's survival. Without serious charcoal or carbon stuff in there, that ammonia smell will take over your whole house in one go.
So here's what actually works for a Dane, depending on what you need. For a Great Dane, heavy-duty disposable pads. These are the easy button. Good for busy owners who just want containment. Look for the ones that say giant breed or poly-backed so it doesn't soak through to your floor. The best part is the sanitation. Wrap it up, toss it, bacteria's gone. Bye-bye. But there's a catch. It gets expensive fast with a dog this big. Plus, it's a lot of trash. And you gotta watch out. Dane puppies love that crinkly sound. They will try to shred these things. Safety note, if your Dane swallows that plastic backing, bad news. It can cause a blockage, so keep an eye on him.
Now, if you want to be a bit greener, reusable fabric pads are way better. These are tough. Quilted tops, they handle those heavy, giant paws way better than paper does. Long-term, way cheaper, and hard to tear up. The trade-off is, well, laundry. You're gonna be washing pee pads a lot. And to stop them from stinking forever, you need a heavy-duty sanitizer or an enzymatic additive. Regular detergent just won't get that ammonia out of the thick layers. These are cool because they try to bridge the gap. Real grass patches, hydroponic or sod, or fake turf trays. They use the Dane's natural instinct to go on texture. Make switching to outside training way easier because the dog is like, oh, grass means go. But these cost a pretty penny. And cleaning them? You gotta scrub that turf tray daily or it reeks. If you do the real grass subscription, shipping a patch of grass big enough for a Great Dane, that's heavy and that's expensive. But look, if you recognize the volume these guys produce and get the right gear, you won't live in a smelly house.
Patience and consistency are the twin pillars of success. In dog training, these are on you, not the dog. Raising a Great Dane it's a monumental task. You have to remember, your puppy might look like a full-grown dog at 6 months old, but their brain, it's still a baby brain. That disconnect, huge body, infant mind, makes us expect too much. A Dane might need double the repetition of a smaller dog just because they go through this dopey phase where they can't focus on anything. Frustration is the enemy. If you get mad when they have an accident, they just learn to be scared of you, not the mistake. Everyone in the house has to be a united front. If mom lets the puppy pace around, but dad takes him out immediately, the puppy is never going to learn the rules. Training is a developmental journey, a marathon, not a sprint.
There are no shortcuts here. You can't hack your way to a house-trained giant. Every Dane matures on their own timeline. Some get it in weeks, some take months. The foundation of a clean dog is built on you sticking to the routine. Those sleepless nights, the constant watching, that's the down payment on having a clean house for the next 10 years. When you eventually have a 150-pound majestic beast who politely taps the door to go out, you'll realize it was worth it. Celebrate the small wins, like the first time they actually wait. View training as a conversation, not a test they pass or fail.
You've heard Great Danes called Velcro dogs, right? That's because they are literally stuck to you. They crave that contact. And honestly, that works in your favor here. They rarely just sneak off to ruin your rug without trying to tell you first. But here's the catch. You have to become fluent in their body language.
When they're tiny puppies, it's frantic, it's loud, it's obvious. But as they grow up, those signs turn into subtle little whispers. You gotta pay attention. Here are the big ones you need to watch for. Intense sniffing. If your Dane is doing something else, then suddenly breaks focus, drops their nose to the floor, and starts tracking a scent like a detective, the clock is ticking. Seriously. That is the universal sign for, I am looking for a toilet right now. Stop them. Immediately. Get them out. Circling. This goes back to ancient survival instincts. Dogs circle to flatten down the grass and check for snakes or predators before they commit to being vulnerable. If your Dane starts spinning in tight circles in the middle of your living room, they are seconds away from squatting. Move fast. Restlessness and pacing. A Great Dane with a full bladder usually can't sit still. If they were napping or chewing on a bone, and suddenly they pop up, start pacing back and forth, or hovering near the back door looking anxious, that's physical urgency. They're uncomfortable. Sudden halts in play. This one is subtle, but it's huge. Say you're wrestling or playing tug, and your puppy just abruptly stops, drops the toy, wanders off. That usually means the urge to pee just overpowered their drive to play. And for a puppy, that's a strong urge. I know. It's hard to miss a Great Dane, but they will try to find privacy. If your puppy drifts behind the sofa, heads into the guest room, or wanders down a dark hallway, they aren't exploring. They're looking for a secluded spot to eliminate. Danes are talkers. They are extremely vocal. A potty need is often that long, soulful stare, paired with a sound, a whine, a grumble, or that signature ruing. You have to learn the difference between the I'm bored bark and the I need out whine. Nudging or pawing at you. They are tactile dogs. If they can't get your attention with their eyes, they'll use their weight. A wet nose shoving your elbow, a massive paw slapping onto your knee, that is often a desperate request for help. Listen to it. Squatting or posturing. Okay, this is the final warning. Code red. Females will dip their rear. Young males, who haven't learned to hike the leg yet, will do the same thing. If you see that back hunch and the rear drop, startle them gently. Don't scare them, just interrupt the stream and hustle them outside. When you see these signs, you move fast. Over time, you'll learn your dog's specific dialect. Eventually, you'll get to a point where a simple look from them tells you everything you need to know. Look, dealing with messes, it's the most taxing part of puppyhood. It sucks, but you have to stay calm. Even with a military-grade schedule, biology sometimes wins. It is essential, and I mean essential, to realize that accidents rarely happen out of spite. Dogs don't have the cognitive ability to be vindictive with their waste. They aren't revenge pooping. Accidents are almost always human error, medical issues, or just biology. Here are the usual culprits. Biological limits. Think of them like a human infant. A Great Dane puppy physically cannot hold their bladder for long. The muscles just aren't developed yet. The general rule, 1 hour of control for every month of age. Expecting a 3-month-old puppy to hold it for 5 hours? You're setting them up to fail. That's on you. Confusion. Sometimes the training just hasn't clicked yet. The dog might think, okay, I can't pee in the kitchen, but they don't realize the dining room is also off limits. They need hundreds of successful outdoor repetitions to generalize the concept that. Now, if your previously reliable Dane starts having accidents, or a puppy is peeing every 15 minutes, you gotta rule out medical problems. UTIs, bladder stones, kidney issues, these make holding it impossible. Plus, Great Danes are notorious for sensitive stomachs. A change in food, a minor parasite, boom, sudden diarrhea. They physically cannot control that. If the pattern changes abruptly, call your vet immediately. Despite your best efforts, accidents are inevitable, especially in the beginning. Keep an enzymatic cleaner on hand. Standard cleaners, they just mask the smell to us humans. But dogs, they can still smell the pheromones, and they will return to mark that spot again. Positive reinforcement is the most effective, humane, and scientifically backed method for training any dog. But for the sensitive soul of a Great Dane, it's critical. These giants are emotionally soft. You come down too hard on them, and they crumble. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior strongly advocates for reward-based training. Why? Because harsh, aversive techniques can cause serious psychological harm. The AKC says positive reinforcement should be the foundation, and the Humane Society agrees. It's a powerful tool. Think of it as your dog's paycheck. Your Great Dane needs motivation to leave the warm, cozy house to do their business, especially if it's raining or freezing outside. The reward system is that motivation. Use high-value treats, stuff they only get for potty success. Boiled chicken, string cheese, freeze-dried liver. The moment they finish eliminating outside, deliver the treat. Throw a party with your voice. Timing is everything. If you wait until you're back inside to give the treat, you just rewarded them for coming inside, not for peeing outside. Physical discipline, it's cruel, and honestly, it works against you. Rubbing a dog's nose in their mess, swatting them with a newspaper, it teaches them nothing about potty training. It only teaches them that you are unpredictable and dangerous. There was a 2020 study in the PLOS1 journal, Biological Evidence, showing that dogs trained with aversive methods had higher cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone. A stressed Great Dane is too anxious to learn. You'll just slow the whole process down. You should pick a consistent verbal command, something like, go potty, or do business. Dogs don't speak English. They learn by association. Pick a phrase you're comfortable saying in public, because you will be saying it in public, and stick to it. As soon as you see your dog squatting, say the cue calmly. Eventually, you can use that command to prompt the behavior before they go, but it is vital that everyone in the house uses the exact same phrase. If mom says, go potty, and dad says, hurry up, the puppy is going to be confused, and deliver it in an encouraging tone, never as a stern order. Conquering house training is big. It's one of the first huge challenges. But the reality is, there is no fixed graduation day. Generally, you can anticipate your Great Dane will be reasonably reliable within 4 to 6 months. At that stage, they get the concept. They can hold it. But achieving that level of maturity where they can be trusted with full freedom, the roam the house while you're at work stage, that might take closer to 8 months, maybe even a year. This timeline is fluid. Great Danes are individuals. Males sometimes take longer than females. Some Danes are precocious. They get it fast. Others remain puppy-brained adolescents who get distracted by a butterfly and forget to pee until they're back on your carpet. The owner's consistency is the deciding factor. The more strictly you adhere to a schedule, eating, sleeping, potting at the same times, the faster their body regulates. If you're lazy with the routine, the dog will be lazy with their habits. So don't be disheartened if your 6-month-old Dane has a regression week. It happens. It's normal. Stick to the plan and you will eventually reach the goal of a 100% reliable companion. For a giant breed that will eventually weigh as much as a whole human, socialization is not optional. It is a critical safety requirement. A fearful Chihuahua? That's a nuisance. A fearful 150-pound Great Dane? That is a liability. Potty training involves exposing the dog to the outdoors. Scary things happen out there. If your dog is afraid of the world, they will be too terrified to give to the bathroom outside. You have to thoughtfully introduce your puppy to a variety of people, animals, environments. Take them to different surfaces: gravel, concrete, wet grass, sand, so they aren't picky about where they potty. Your checklist needs to include household noises, like vacuums, doorbells, but also outside stuff: garbage trucks, sirens, traffic. While all dogs need socialization, it is paramount for Great Danes. Their sheer size means they must be confident and gentle. A well-socialized Dane is bomb-proof, unbothered by loud noises or strangers. Frequent positive exposure early in life helps them learn how to navigate the world politely. This means curating happy, controlled encounters. Don't just flood them. Do not take an unvaccinated puppy to a high-traffic dog park. Instead, invite vaccinated, calm dogs over, or carry your puppy, while you still can, to busy areas just to watch the world go by safely. The prime window for socialization closes around 16 weeks. Use that time wisely to build a confident foundation.